both these players 7-0.
But a lot of Cooper Johnson's good draws on the play will make Mullen's hand look silly.
I think I can agree with that.
You don't get a whole lot of disruption. Meddling Mage is the real prize for Mullen when he's on the draw.
Well, Mullen's going to start things off with the Cavern of Souls, naming humans, and into an Ether Vial. Pass the turn back over to Johnson. Johnson has an island, and that's a sleight of hand. New cantrip in this deck, of course, is Opt. 4 copies there. Sleight of hand, going to add a card over to Cooper's hand. Mullen's going to move his Vial up to 1. And it is kind of interesting because there is just the Meddling Mage test. There's another Cavern of Souls. And if there's a Meddling Mage on Grape Shot here, like I said, this game is over. It's a Kite Sail freebooter, however.
Still not bad.
Not bad at all. Going to get a good look at what Johnson is working with. Maybe you want to take one of these cost reducers if he has one. You see the hand here of Mountain and Steam Vents. There's a Gifts Ungiven. An Opt, a Desperate Ritual, a Pyretic Ritual, and a Sleight of Hand.
I'm guessing because this hand, you can't really cut him off with mana, and you really can't cut him off with selection, that Gifts Ungiven would be the selection. One
of the best cards in the deck, one of the namesake cards, hence the Gifts in the Gift Storm title, and probably the best card to take from this hand. Though, selfishly, I'm taking a look at my bingo sheet. Gifts Ungiven, cast for 3 mana, happens to be on there. I think maybe I'd like to see it stay. Though I don't think it will. In theory, we could see Collins attempt to cut mana a little bit here. I think it would be foolish to take Opt or Sleight of Hand in this instance, but...
There could be an argument for taking Opt or Sleight of Hand if you had another discard spell to follow up with, but I still think the safest bet is just taking Gifts Ungiven out of this hand.
Well, that's what Collins is going to do. He will select a very powerful instant from Kamigawa block, and we will head over to Cooper Johnson. Johnson will draw a card. It's a mountain. Well, Goblin Electromancer right off the top of the deck, straight onto the battlefield. Very powerful stuff right there. A Vial activation is going to put a Noble Hierarch onto the battlefield. We'll head over to Collins now. Vial's going to go up to 2.
I think I would have preferred to cast cantrips that turn rather than expose the Electromancer.
Well, the thing that's interesting, right, is you don't know what you're exposing it to when you're against a human stack that does have 2 Caverns and Aether Vial. Like, I guess in theory you could be exposing it to removal, but you don't know that Collins doesn't have any removal?
If it's a deck that's playing creatures all on its own turn, I think my preference would just be cantrip a bunch and try to play the Electromancer in a turn where you're actually going to win the game with it, which is not that hard to do with 2 rituals in hand plus whatever you're getting off of the Opt.
It's a Mare of Averbrook. Halpak Alpha on the back. That's what Cooper Johnson's taking a look at. But the front end is actually what matters here. Going to give these humans a little bit of oomph.
Because Johnson's hand really doesn't go anywhere, even with the Electromancer. He still needs to find stuff to do. So, ooh, the Vial on 2. Fancy.
It is a little fancy.
Maybe Vial and another Mayor.
Yeah.
If you're going to play an Electromancer and just untap and cantrip anyway, I would just rather cantrip first.
Sure, sure. We're going to go over to Cooper Johnson now. He's going to draw a card. He's picked up an island. Steam Vents over there along with Desperate Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, Opt, and there's a Sleight of Hand. Sleight of Hand's going to resolve. Take a look at the top 2. Desperate Ritual in there.
You know, it's really nice having that Vial on 2 and a freebooter in hand.
Which he does have currently.
And you just respond to a ritual with a freebooter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You're into that, huh? Yeah. Vialing in creatures that have discard is awesome.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Opt, scry 1. That card's going to go to the bottom. Now it's in Cooper's hand. Cooper's hand is loaded with mana. Going to activate the Vial. How about a little freebooter? It's a mana party. Two Desperate, 1 Pyretic. You know, I would like take the Pyretic so that
Meddling Mage.
I don't know. Spell Gets Spliced is on my bingo board. So I'd leave him with 2 Desperate Rituals. I actually probably would do it because of Meddling Mage, though.
But I think if you draw Meddling Mage, you're still just naming Grape Shot.
You're just naming Grape Shot and game's over, yeah.
Who?
Well, hello. He's going to take Pyretic Ritual. We're live for a little splice where everything's nice. Let's go over to Collins now. He's going to get this battlefield organized a little bit here. Will the Grand Prix Washington, D.C. runner-up. And now he'll draw a card. I did not get a great look.
Another freebooter.
Well, we know he's got that. Looks like there's some sort of land here. Oh, just a plains and a nice one. Thalia's Lieutenant, pump up the jam.
So that was what the attack was about with the 1/2 Noble Hierarch into Electromancer the previous turn.
Got it. Everybody's getting bigger. And yeah, now this is the easy part, which is attack. I mean, it's a pretty good clock, man.
Yep. Not lethal this turn, but next turn should be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I think Mullen still has freebooter left over with the vial on too.
Yep, that's the last card in his hand. Humans out here taking care of Storm. Draw step. Freebooter. Yep, no more. We are done here. Grape Shot was the draw. But yeah, that is going to take care of things as Collins Mullen is going to win game number 1 here very easily over Cooper Johnson. Humans quickly up a game over Blue Red Gift Storm because, well, Freebooter looked great.
It was awesome.
The clock there was pretty good too with Mare and Thalia's Lieutenant. So maybe this Humans deck is the real deal. Who knows? We're going to start with Cooper Johnson, his sideboard. 4 pieces to the puzzle. Pieces of the puzzle, excuse me. 3 Lightning Bolt, 2 Shattering Spree, 2 Empty the Warrens, 2 Dispel, a Wipe Away, and a Dismember. You know, this is actually one of the decks here, Patrick, where going towards Empty the Warrens is not, I don't think, great.
There's a lot of 3/2s and creatures with first strike and 1/2 flyers. You had to storm for a lot to be able to punch through that stuff. I think the 3 bolts and the Dismember and the Wipe Away, some amount of ways to slow the game down and get some of the troublesome disruptive creatures off the battlefield. I would not go to Empty the Warrens, I don't think.
I guess Bolt is really the only way you can go. Wipe Away, Dismember, maybe?
Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
That's really about it. We'll go to Collins now. He's got 2 Zathra Necromancer, 2 Aethersworn Canonist. That one's obviously coming in. 2 Vithian Renegades, 2 Fiend Hunter, 2 Izzet Static Caster, 2 Tireless Tracker, a Reflector Mage, that's the 4th one in the board, a Mirren Crusader, and an Inoffensive the Foremost.
The Canonists here are the stars for this matchup. Obviously just really great and disruptive here. I could see bringing in the 1 copy of Mirren Crusader. It's just being faster than some of the other 3-drops, but the Canonists really stand out.
You know, I like the Inoffensive here too in this matchup. That text of anytime any card goes to a graveyard from anywhere for the opponent, it gets exiled. Yeah, it's just going to, depending on when you play it, you know, you're going to be able to stop the Past and Flames kill if things line up a certain way. And it's just a one of that's probably better than a couple other cards here. So
yeah, the Reflector Mages are really easy to cut, and there's probably other, you know, low power, contextually low power creatures. You know, Manus Rider maybe isn't good enough. So some easy cuts here for Mullen to make room.
Pretty good matchup here for Collins. Don't know how many times he's played against Storm so far this weekend. We're watching one right now in front of us, and I think he's in a pretty darn good spot. And we didn't even see Thalia or Meddling Mage in that first game. These players will get ready here for game number 2. Cooper Johnson will be on the play. And we're going to talk one more time today about a StarCityGames.com weekly sale. It's going to end on Monday, and you're going to get 20% off. Not hundreds.
Thousands, literally thousands of rares on sale right now. It goes on StarCityGames.com/weekly sale. Every Monday, 11 o'clock, new sale. Make sure to be going back to the website at least once a week. Check it out. And right now, 25% off. Literally thousands of rares, which could mean a lot of different things. Perhaps some rares that you would like to own at discounted prices. Go to StarCityGames.com/weekly sale.
Well done.
I was really born to pitch advertising copy. It's nice. Not everyone gets to find their calling, you know? Some people, they just do a job because it's how things worked out. But I got to manage myself in such a fashion that I got to pursue my real passion.
You kind of backdoored your way into it.
Hawking your wares.
At StarCityGames.com. That's right. That's what we're doing here in the booth. Cooper Johnson looks like a pretty young kid playing some Storm here. He's off to a great start though, 7-0. Looks like it might be a pretty bad matchup for him though. I'll be honest.
I think play draw matters a lot. Mullen doesn't really do a whole lot on turns 1 and 2. He's got, you know, a freebooter. Meddling Mage is the real star if you can find it. But that kind of opening is going to get him killed on third turn. I guess Thalia's Guardian of the Raven's a good 2-drop too. I guess he's got enough where if Johnson just has the draw on the play on turn 3, there's a good shot Mullen has something to break it up. It's a lot of 2s. Probably underestimated initially. That's a lot of good 2s.
Yeah, a lot of 2s for sure. Finally getting to see Storm here this week, and that was really kind of the only missing piece to the puzzle. We've seen various takes on Death Shadow, 5-color from Clay Spiegelmeyer and Chris Anderson. Grixis Death Shadow as well we have seen a little bit of. We kick things off with Bant Counters Company in the hands of Kyle Bogmees. Bogmees actually losing last round, 6-1, lost to Green Black Tron, which is 7-0 now. So Modern is doing what Modern does, which is just a little bit of everything.
It's in a nice place right now. I think it's an unfortunate consequence of, you know, having a format that's been largely managed by bans. Whenever it feels a little bit off, some percentage of people start clamoring for them. And I think the format's just in a pretty good spot right now.
I wouldn't change a thing right now. I'm very happy with Modern. I don't think anything needs to be unbanned. You know, there's a Pro Tour coming up, Rivals of Ixalan, where they said they might unban something before it. I don't think that's going to be the case. So I think we're in a pretty healthy place as things currently do stand. We're underway here in game number 2. Sleight of hand. There's the Ether Vial. And that's a Spire Bluff Canal.
5 PM standard challenge players. Your next round pairings are being posted in the site code. Please make your way to your seats. Again, 5 PM standard.
Vial's going to go up to 1.
Next round pairings are going up.
And as you can see in Colin's hand, he does have a copy of Meddling Mage. Now in the sideboarded games, it's not as easy to just name Grape Shot and the game is over. That's not how it works in the sideboarded games. It's still very, very good though.
But they usually have a second dimension.
Mm-hmm. Windswept Heath. Oh, that's pretty. There's a hollowed fountain. A vial on 1 for a champion of the parish. And I might have our first canonist. He's got 2 in his hand. There is Aethersworn Canonist. Counter there. Take a look at that creature in just a moment as there's a Dismember. Didn't last for long, but we might see it again anyway. Canonist great against Storm decks. Mm-hmm. We've seen it in Legacy. We see it here in Modern a little bit as Storm has certainly picked up in popularity.
And I like opening there with a Canonist with a second one in hand. If your Canonist doesn't die, cool, game's on easy mode. And if it does die, you have a second copy, and the second copy doesn't do anything normally. So I like that sequencing.
Team Vent's going to end the battlefield on tap there for Cooper Johnson. Does he have somewhere to go here with a Storm? Well, it looks like the answer is yes. Here's Pyretic Ritual. Looks like a young Caleb. Getting out the Storm counter and getting out the mana thingies.
Oh, no.
Oh, splice that. Oh, splice that. Oh, hi.
This
Little Splicerooski. Bing. Little Splice. And everything's nice.
Does that get you to 4 on anywhere, or are you still
No,
on
still on
threes?
threes. Still on threes. And now here is empty them their warrens, most likely.
This just doesn't seem like enough stuff.
10 goblins? What do you mean?
I mean, maybe this is just what his hand lets him do.
It is. Like, he's got pieces to the puzzle. That's really it. The hope is that he can kind of slog through this with his 10 goblins. You know, if he had some sort of, you know, if he was able to make 12, I would feel good about this.
Yeah, 12 would be the number where I think it's, you start having some hope. But, you know, he's still drawing to, you know, he's got pieces of the puzzle. He's got probably some lightning bolts in his deck. Might be enough.
Oh, it's actually only 8?
Oh, 8 is, that's not even.
Yeah, I don't care about 8.
8's not a lot.
Especially because, like, the random creatures that.
A 1/2.
Yeah, it's just like a 1/2. The freebooter. It takes the pieces of the puzzle, and it's not very, you know, it's got an extra point of toughness. Not even trading. Looks like that's the Temple Guard that's going to the battlefield tapped.
Yeah, I think we're about done here. I mean,
well, I think this is just going to be too tough. Like, these goblins just aren't going to do much of anything. You're going to play a meddling mage. It's going to grow the champion. I'm not entirely sure what the meddling mage is going to name at this point. Obviously, we'll get confirmation on Chris Pakula's invitational card.
I
love it. Love it.
I don't know. I guess I would probably name Gifts Ungiven. I can't imagine any one card he draws that matters that much. He's got to put something together.
You name Lightning Bolt.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's a good name. Yeah, because I guess if he draws Lightning Bolt, then he gets his pieces back, and then that's sort of like cobbling together a gifts.
That's actually kind of interesting here too, because if Cooper attacks with everything, he actually just dies on the attack back, which I don't. Yeah, he doesn't. See, he doesn't know that. But you know, 2 goblins are going to die, and so Collins is going to untap. He has a Mantis Rider in his hand, which also gives +1/+1 to the champion of the parish. So right now it would be 3. The champion of the parish becomes a 5-power creature. That's 8 by itself. 9, 10 from the mage, 11 from the freebooter. So
and you don't have to worry about Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about Lightning Bolt at all. You don't have to worry about Grape Shot because it's a sorcery. He's already cast a Dismember. Feel free to cast another one. Yeah, I actually think this is just flat lethal. Oh yeah.
So 11.
Yeah,
on my count.
I mean, there could be a wipe away, some sort of bounce spell here. Actually, I think he does have wipe away.
I mean,
yeah,
but there's still a vigilance blocker and lethal next turn.
Yes, yes. That allows Cooper to keep playing for a turn. And Collins has Vial on 2.
And a Canonus in his hand.
Yeah. And I would want to get the Canonus on the battlefield. I guess he could trap him. I mean, it takes an absurd string for Cooper to win this game. And I mean absurd. Which is Manamorphose ×4 into, like, Opt into Grape Shot.
And you just cut him off if he plays any cantrip.
Exactly. Yeah, you get the opportunity to cut him off. So here is Canonist. Surprise blocker. Block. 3 damage dealt. Mullen's going to fall down to 8. There's 1 little goblin back on defense. But for Cooper Johnson, I just don't think that's going to be enough. As Collins is going to untap everything. He'll be drawing a card here in just a moment. There's champion of the parish. Here comes everybody. And it's an extension of the hand. Collins Mullen going to win this match over Cooper Johnson. 2 games to 0. Humans. All 5 colors of them.